If that wasn't entertaining, I don't know what the fuck is. Seriously. Besides the Brona Molina Jr. fight, which I don't know what the fuck John Molina was thinking, man. If he was a little bit more aggressive, then we would have been, a little bit more entertained out of the fight. I mean, he was just winging that right hand and Brona Cena coming a million miles away, man. I mean, what the fuck was Molina actually even thinking? I don't know. I would think that Goosen would have had a better game plan for Molina coming into that fight. To me, Molina himself fighting that way took something out of last night, the whole thing. And it took Guerrero Thurman to basically put it back to where the whole event should have been, if you feel what I'm saying. I mean, Adrian Broner, he came out and he did what he was supposed to do. He basically outclassed Molina, man. That's basically what it was. It was just a strict outclassing of athletes. You know, Molina. I mean, don't get me wrong. He got Broner's attention a couple of times with some of those winging rights. You know what I'm saying? But it all boiled down to it. Broner just outclassed him, man. And like I said, you got to blame some of that on the fucking game plan Molina had going into this fight. I don't understand it. I don't think most of you understand it. I don't know anybody that would understand it, thinking that what he was doing was going to be super successful for the remainder of the night. But I don't know. I don't know. It took away a lot from last night. That's just my opinion. But other than that, how the fuck were you not entertained by Thurman and fucking Guerrero? I did a video. Well, I did a uh, FaceTime thing with my boys at CBT. You know what I'm saying? Um, I picked I picked Guerrero to win this fight, and even though he wasn't successful in winning this fight, the flaws and things that I have concerns about with Thurman showed up in this fight. His balance was an issue this fight. Guerrero did make him pay in spots, you know. But to Thurman's credit, he showed me things that I hadn't seen him do before. Like in the later rounds where they were fighting on the inside, right there. Hey, Thurman was slipping some of those punches, man, and he was coming back with some nice clean uppercuts, man. For real, he was doing his thing in that pocket, man. I have to give him credit for that, man. He showed me he had a hell of a chin. Everybody's talking about Guerrero's chin. Yo, Thurman took some shots that after he got hit with those punches, I just knew that he was gonna drop, But to his credit, he didn't drop. He didn't drop whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to both of these guys, man. This is one of those fights. Even if you didn't come out on the winning end, which I thought the scorecards were a little, shaky. I gave Guerrero about 3 rounds, but either way, Thurman did dominate the fight. I thought the scorecards were a little shaky though myself, but even if Guerrero didn't win, he didn't hurt himself. That was such a competitive and great fight, man. I mean, I expect these guys both to have big fights their next fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't see any drop off. I don't see a reason for Guerrero to go back and fight a lower class opponent after this loss to Thurman, because this was a pretty competitive fight, man. Guerrero showed his heart. He showed his durability. He showed his chin. I wasn't surprised with the knockdown at all. I wasn't surprised because the way they were pushing the first second when I seen Keith Thurman jumping out of his corner, running out of his corner, I knew we were in for fireworks right there, man. And it lived up. If you say this fight didn't live up to what we all were expecting, then something's wrong, man. That fight, this is one of the few. This is an early fight of the year candidate. Period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It is an early fight of the year candidate, and hopefully somewhere down the line, man, a couple of wins later, we might. This is worthy of a second fight. To me, it's worthy of a second fight. I'd like to see him do it again. That might just be me, but Hey, this was a great fucking fight, man. Now, a couple of things that I noticed. I know it's going around social media and stuff like that is the non-recognition of the WBA title. I mean, don't get me wrong. Floyd Mayweather is the WBA super champion at welterweight or whatever, but Keith Thurman doesn't have the belt. He has a WBA championship belt, world title, and that seemed kind of strange to me that they weren't recognizing those titles. I mean, they said three-time world champion, yada yada yada, but not even on the PA when they were announcing like the fighters, they didn't announce like Thurman a three-weight division champion or anything like that. Like that seemed kind of strange to me. I don't know. They didn't recognize Guerrero's championships. They didn't recognize anything. So I don't know. It just might be me, but for them not to recognize like those titles, I don't know. Now the whole Premier Boxing Champions, keyword champions thing is kind of looking kind of, I don't know. We might have to shine a little light towards that or whatever. But other than that, man, Al Heyman is on to something, man. He's on to something right here. That this was a very entertaining night of boxing. I I know everybody else. I don't know. I'm waiting for this next card on Spike, man. Because if it's anything like this, we are getting great fights for free, y'all. We are getting great fights for free. You know, how exciting is that? I mean, yeah, you might need cable to get Spike, but shit, come on, man. April 11th, that card, April 11th, you're not looking forward to that? How can you not be? I gotta give, I gotta give credit where credit is due. A lot of y'all don't like Al Heyman. Me, I have my reasons to feel and think why people don't like Al Heyman. I'm not gonna get into it right there. There's a whole lot of biasness. There's a whole lot of prejudice in that. I'm just calling the spade a spade. I'm not gonna say racism. I'm just gonna say prejudice. There's a whole bunch of prejudice in that. But like I said, I'm not gonna get into it this video. But how could you not appreciate what Al Heyman put on last night? How could you not appreciate it? How could you not appreciate what Al Heyman is putting on for the next couple of months? It seems like during the spring and the summer, we're going to have so many great fights. And we can expect at least 3 of these guys that you seen last night to be back by this summer. Because the plan is to have these guys fighting 3, maybe 4 times a year. I think Molina hurt his chances to get on another card just with his performance. If he would have put on a better performance, then we may have seen Molina on another card. But I think this is it for Molina, man. Last night was just that was his last shot to make a big impression, and I don't think he made a good impression. And I like Molina. Don't get me wrong. I still think he's got some fights out there that'll be very competitive or whatever. But I don't see him back on this scale or this magnitude of fights anytime soon. I think this was his final chance to make that good impression. Um, what's next for these guys? Broner. Broner, for real, honestly, I think we may see Broner against the winner of the Peterson Garcia fight. Something's telling me that. Something is really telling me that. Um, Thurman. It's kind of hard to say with Thurman and Guerrero right now. Um, there's a couple of names. I would expect to see Thurman and Madonna because that's been talked about. That was talked about around the same time of Guerrero and Thurman, and we got Guerrero and Thurman. But I would expect Thurman and Madonna. I wouldn't be shocked if we get Madonna Ghost first. I really wouldn't, because you got to think Madonna's coming off 2 losses to Floyd. Thurman's gonna need, a rebound fight off the Madonna. So I don't know. Um, I expect one of these guys in with Madonna next, and if I had to choose one of the guys, I would say Thurman right now. But Guerrero definitely he's gonna be in there with a name sooner or later. So I don't know. We had an exciting night last night, and I just look forward to what's coming up next. Y'all have a nice one, man.